ITT, we post guns we're interested in getting, and anons who actually own them give us their opinions on them. I'll start. I own one. I thought it would be a good semi-auto 308 rifle. I was wrong. The more I've shot it, the less I like it, to the point I'm looking to get rid of the damn thing. I don't like the ergonomics. I don't like the safety. The process of proper care/maintenance is a pain in the ass. You have to own special/specific tools to do the cleaning. If you have an issue that involves tearing down the bolt, you better have that tool too. Magazines are stupid expensive for what they are. I don't know if they all are, but mine is very ammo picky. All in all, IMO a garbage rod. M1A is a pay-to-play platform. Unless you want to buy the bone stock rifle with a 10-round mag and call it a day, you're going to spend hundreds of dollars beyond your initial purchase to equip it with the basic necessities. $150 for a scope mount, $35 for each magazine, $60 for an extra attachment point, sling bipod, etc. $150+ for an optic, more if you want an actual scope. But damn if it doesn't look nice. I honestly love mine, but it's my only semi-auto 308, so I don't have much else to compare it to. I have a few Judges, and even with that said, I can't imagine why anyone would want the Public Defender. The Judge is already a meme gun with very limited application. The Public Defender version is objectively worse. I am made show the only reason to get it is if you're building a collection around the cheap throwaway plastic aesthetic. C96 Mauser. The good. It's very fun to shoot. The smile I get every time I take it out just to plink or do serious range shooting is a feeling I never get with most handguns. Some examples can be found for less than $1,500 now. As of 2022, I got mine for like $1,400 max. Good quality, not beat up and used hardly at all, and shoots extremely well. Now obviously most milsurp guns from the time are overpriced now, but 9mm World War I examples are like 3 times the cost, so this is more on the cheaper end of the spectrum. Really accurate for what it is, and how old it is. Trigger pull is not bad for such an old gun, and feels better than some modern guns somehow. Looks sexier than most guns, period. Fight me. Get a stock. It's literally an exception to the SBR ATF ruling, and you can have a free SBR with this thing. That said, stock doubles as a holster, and it's so fucking neat. The bad. Loading is hard to get used to, and sometimes stripper clips are hard to use compared to rifle rounds due to how small and skinny the round is. Cost per round isn't horrible, but you will never be found getting rounds in any store on Earth. Gotta order them online. If you are Chad enough to carry this thing, it's not terrible, but why? You literally have anything smaller, and less awkward to sit in your pants. The sights are almost pointless to adjust unless you get the stock/holster. Then it's a very fun carbine. Again, highly recommend getting one if you buy this gun. Chinese-made C96s are extreme varied quality, but don't be afraid of them. Some are very well made. Many are not and should not be shot and used for display only. Heavy. Like unironically, you can call me a bitch or whatever, but it's overly heavy. However, for such an old gun, it's an upgrade to its competition, which is bulkier than it, so give it a pass. TLDR, this outdated POS is the most fun gun in my entire collection, and I wouldn't sell it for anything. LCR in 9mm? Blah. Every LCR model not in 38 Special is retarded. In particular, the 9mm sucks for 4 reasons. First, because it's just as heavy as the 357, which completely negates the main benefit of the LCR as a so-let-you-forget-about-it pocket carry gun. Second, the moon clips you have to use because the cartridge isn't rimmed are fundamentally awful because of how hit large the extractor notch in the case is means that any moon clip that is the typical size, and the only size in mass production mind you, has a really sloppy retention of the rounds. So they are not all held parallel to each other. So ironically, it's even slower to reload than a regular revolver with a speed loader. Third, The combination of relatively rough finish machining inside the chambers and the higher chamber pressure of 9mm means you will regularly have stuck cases, and finding out you can't reload your gun anymore until you mash the ejector rod on something seems like a pretty dumb thing to sign up for in a gun you might use for self-defense. Fourth, because the bullets aren't retained in the case under recoil by bumping against the front of a magazine, cheap ammo that's not crimped quite firmly will have bullet jump, where the bullet is pulled out of the case by inertia under recoil and can cause a jam in the middle of a magazine that's not fixable by just pull the trigger again, which negates a major point in favor of the revolver compared against a semi-auto. If you absolutely must, buy gold dots for self-defense and don't count on getting a reload, because that ammunition is manufactured in such a way that all the reliability problems are mitigated significantly. But in general, it's a shit gun that exists only because some manager thought it sounded neat on paper, but wasn't willing to devote the engineering hours required to iron out the flaws in the design before it went to market. Mini 30. Fun aesthetic, cool if you ever have to go to a band state, but significantly less accurate and reliable than an AR in a ballistically equivalent caliber like 300 Blackout or even 7.62x39. Expect about twice as many jams and twice the group diameter versus an AR that costs the same. I have a P238 as one of my carry pieces. I don't know if the magazine safety is standard on all models or just the Californian compliant version. Either way, if, like me, you hate magazine safeties, it is very easy to delete. You remove a pin and the lever that is held in place by it. That's it. Field stripping for cleaning can be a little fiddly, but it's not difficult. Trigger is okay. SAO. Manual safety is easy to operate while still being tight. I carry mine cocked and loaded in a holster at appendix. But that might not be the smartest thing given it has only the one manual safety. No grip or trigger safety. I won't say it's pleasant to shoot, but it isn't unpleasant either. In short, I don't see any reason not to own one. I can see reasons why folks wouldn't want it as a carry, but all of those reasons are self-evident in the spec sheet. Easy to clean / maintain. Mine has been reliable, even with screwdriver rounds. SCR. Chin weld everything. Get a good cheek riser unless you can mount it insanely low without it getting in the way of the charging handle. Manipulating the charging handle one-handed is very difficult with no pistol grip. Get ready to skin your knuckles. You'll hold it for 5 minutes and realize there's absolutely no way you'll be able to comfortably reach the magazine release and have to get a kit to make it ambi. Aligning the bolt's tail into hole for the buffer tube in the stock is difficult to align sometimes. But it's still pretty fun. Even regular AR owners are attracted to it for some reason. USP-45 Tactical and Smith & Wesson 632 Ultimate Carry. I have a USP-45 Tactical. It's easily one of my favorite pistols of all time. It's been to the woods, the desert, the ocean, inside caves, and concrete jungles with me. It can run literally any ammo I throw at it, and I have about 3,000 rounds through it. I have made hits out to 100 yards with it, and it recoils very pleasantly. I have Mexican carried it around, and despite its size, it didn't print very much. It does everything you want it to do, and then some. Again and again and again. The big gripes I have are that 45 ACP is expensive as fuck. The gun itself is huge, almost no holster support, and no pick rail. Minor gripes are that the mags are expensive. The match sights don't inspire much confidence as they are all black and retarded to use in non-perfect lighting conditions. And finding someone to mill a red dot locally is a nightmare. I've been wanting one for years. I'll get the A3 one day. Horribly overpriced with a terrible trigger that makes shooting it well a challenge. The trigger can be improved, but that means throwing even more money at it. If you are buying it for the aesthetics alone, and the money is no object, sure. If you want a bullpup, there are better options, but the AUG does at least have a solid reputation. Anyone recommend the Scorpion under or around 1K? Only if it already includes some kind of brace. No more than 1100 though.
rockin' rhythm of the sea. Tonight the moon hangs low. Hold tight or overboard we'll go. Rock and roll.